KUTC. Please feel free to add your names and agencies in the chat box so we can all get acquainted. While you guys do that, in the meantime, I'll just go over some housekeeping rules before introducing our speakers. Please remember to keep yourself muted during the duration of the presentation, as there will be a Q&A session at the end. But if you do have questions during the presentation, please feel free to add them in the chat box so we can address them later on. I will also be adding my email to the chat box in case you run into technical difficulties, and feel free to reach out to me if so. Okay, so today's speakers are KUTC's RTAP's very own Ann Louder, Megan Hazelwood, and Lisa Koch. Ann is our outreach coordinator, and she will be covering our approved trainer program. Megan is our senior events coordinator and will be discussing our learning management system. And Lisa, our director, who will not be here with us today, but has recorded a video for us to watch, will be discussing the national training resources available to everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we can get started. Ann, are you here? Megan, do you want to go ahead and start, or?
I'm here.
Oh, hi, Ann. Are you comfortable starting, or do you need a couple of minutes?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, let me go to the next slide and we can get started then. Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to start with driver training with Ann Louder.
Okay, hi everyone. So we're going to cover the driver training requirements, the courses that meet that training, the pre-trainer program, and the proof of training on that. So let's go ahead and we'll go to the next slide. What you're looking at here is the new driver preparation checklist, and you can download that from KDOT's website under forms. And here, when you bring a new driver in, they should be completing this form, and it covers agency policy, drug and alcohol testing, wheelchair securement, driver practicing driving with a senior driver, and then going over the inspections, the pre-inspection, the post-inspection, the mid-inspection on that. And then finally there they need to get a driver into Kansas RTAP training. But if you don't have one immediately, you can go to National RTAP and take the START program. It also covers other, and that would be anything that you would like to add for additional training on that. And then that should be signed and put into their files. Okay, next slide.
Oh, sorry, I skipped one.
So currently, I'm using CTAAs, that's Community Transportation Association of America's PASS 7.0 materials for driving and coaching systems for defensive driving. Currently, we have 2 courses, defensive driving and passenger assistance, and defensive driving and emergency procedures. Defensive driving and passenger assistance covers defensive driving, distracted driving, passenger assistance, ADA, and wheelchair securement hands-on practice. Defensive driving and emergency procedures covers defensive driving, distracted driving, how to handle different emergencies, agency policy, and then hands-on emergency evacuation training on that. Next slide. In 2022, you can see there I completed 24 emergency procedures classes, 16 passenger assistance classes, 4 United Government Wyandotte classes for 44 classes and 382 participants. We also have an approved trainer program. We currently have 39 approved trainers. Kansas RTAP is not accepting any new approved trainers at this time. We really set the program up for 2 approved trainers in each CTD. On that, you can go to Black Hat to find approved trainers, scheduled trainings on that, and then be able to call them to register your people for that training. So thank you. Do I have any questions? Oh, and of course, then you get your certificate of completion on that, and there's an example of that there. That should be everything for me. Are there any questions?
Okay, thank you, Anne. If there's no questions, we can go ahead and move on to our next speaker. And if you do think of questions later on, feel free to put them in the chat and we can revisit them later. Okay, Megan, do you want to take over the screen?
Yes. Keep sharing your screen for now, and we'll kind of go through the PowerPoint real quick, and then I will share my screen and just go through the learning management system with everyone.
Sounds great. Okay.
So hi, everyone. My name is Megan Hazelwood. I'm sure I've worked with several of you regarding our learning management system. So kind of today, we will just go over how to sign up for an account, how to sign up for a course, and how to access your records. So Peyton, if you want to go to the next screen. So that we'll go over this when I share my screen, but just a brief overview. This is what your page should look like when you reach the login stage. And again, I will share my screen and go over this with you, but you'll see there is a forgot your password. So you'll type your email, leave that password field blank and click login, and that should reset your password to the email address that you've entered and that's tied to your account. If you forget your username, that is your email address. And then there's a blue button down at the bottom there that says create new profile. So that is how you sign up for an account. And I will go ahead and put that login screen that you see right there in the chat here. If you want to follow along while I am sharing my screen, that is the screen that we will start with. So Peyton, if you want to click the next slide. So we will go over how to sign up for a course. So here you see an example of a defensive driving and passive or an emergency procedures course. You will see the location and date. So this one is January 25th, 2023. It's in Hayesville at 160 East Carla Avenue in Hayesville, Kansas. And the time, court dates and time over there, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We've got a course description, and then we have that our instructors and louder. The top left, you'll see a capacity bar there. So this capacity is for 24 folks. Right now we have 2 people registered. So down at the very bottom there, you'll see that public fee of $45 with a blue button to the far right that you can register. So again, I will share my screen and we'll go over that a little thoroughly. But just to give you kind of a brief overview, that is the screen to register. That's what that looks like. So Peyton, if you want to click that next slide. So again, we'll go over this, how to access your records. I do want to call out to the left, there's how to access employee certificate as a registration manager. I cannot walk you through that one as I am not a registration manager, but hopefully you'll be able to kind of see what that would look like, because I will log into my account and my account won't have it. But if you are a registration manager, there will be a link in the upper right hand corner, and I'll kind of point out where that would be when I share my screen. But you'll click that link and you'll be taken to a page that has all of the users that are attached to your company. So it'll look like a list, which we have a little screenshot there, and you'll click on view registrations for whichever person you're trying to view. That will take you to a page that lists all of the courses that that user has registered for. From there, in order to access a certificate, you'll click their attended link, and that will show up if a user has actually attended that course and was marked present. And once you click that attended button, that will populate the certificate for them, which we saw an example of that on a previous screen. I will say, give us about a week or so. Anne is really, really great about getting me sign-in sheets. Sometimes, you know, she's traveling though, it does take a little bit longer. So those will not be populated immediately sometimes. So if you're seeing that and you have concerns and it's still within 24 hours, it's probably just that we don't have that sign-in sheet just yet. So don't worry, don't panic. I would say within a week, it'll definitely be on there for you to go and click that attended button. If you are seeing anything, you know, maybe somebody isn't marked off and it's been a few weeks, go ahead and reach out, let us know, and we'll look into that. Sometimes, names are just off, or if we can't read handwriting, something. So just go ahead and send us an email and we'll look into that for you. So on the right, you'll see how to access your certificates. So this I will go over because I'm able to view this and share this through my profile. So very similar, you'll just log in at that link that I sent you. Once you're logged in, you'll click that portal link in the upper right-hand corner of the page, and then you'll be able to see all of the classes that you've registered for. And again, if you've been marked attended as completing that course, you'll click that attended button for yourself, and that'll populate your certificate. So real quick before I share my screen, I do want to pop these little PDF fact sheets into the chat if it will let me. That way everyone can just follow along. I'm not sure if I can do that. Nikila or Peyton, if one of you can kind of figure out possibly how to get that in the chat, that would be awesome. If not, we will send those out to everyone that participated today via email, just so you have that. So Peyton, if you want to stop sharing your screen, I will take over and kind of go through what we just talked about.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, everyone. So I hope you all can share my screen. Let me know if you're having any issues seeing that. So this is our overall events page. So you can always click RTAP here, and it'll take you to all of the different trainings that we offer for RTAP specific classes. So to start from this page, up in the right-hand corner, you'll see that login button. You'll click that. So again, here's where you can retrieve your password. If you're forgetting your username, that's your email address. Sometimes if you have an account with us and it's been one that we've entered from the back end and we don't have an email for you, your username will not be populated. So if you think that you have an account but you're not entirely sure, please feel free again to send me an email and I can look at that. Oftentimes we do have you in our system, just not attached to an email. Sometimes your registration manager doesn't know your email, or you've been added in on the back end without an email. So rather than duplicating and creating a new account, just let us know if you think you've been signed up for a class before, and we will be happy to take a look at that for you and add your email if you'd like us to do so. If you know that you don't have an account, you're new, you need to create one, again, there's that create new profile button. So we're going to go ahead and log in. So this will take you back to our overall screen. Again, you can click RTAP for RTAP specific classes. You can also search by RTAP right there. So that'll bring up RTAP classes. You can do a search. And this will populate our courses kind of like in a list view. So you'll see here what we have scheduled for emergency procedures and then passenger assistance. And it's kind of a fun, you can see UI location and then date. So this is a fun view, in my opinion. I think it's a little bit nicer so that you don't have to do too much clicking around on that main screen page. So like I said, up in this top right corner, I don't have that registration manager option, but it would be up here between like profile and portal. So registration managers, like I said, you would just follow those steps on our fact sheet, which if you need that, please let us know and we'll get that sent out. But if you click portal, it will take you to your portal, and here you can list, so these are future course registrations that I've got. So some of these I just haven't completed just yet. And then past registration. So these, I've not been marked attended. These were all just tests. So don't worry, but we can go ahead and click an attended button. So here's where you'll see whether you were present for that class or not. You click that attended button and then it populates your certificate right there. And it'll tell you who it's awarded to, the course time, what the course was, the date that you took it, and then the location. So these will look different for you. You'll have that RTAP specific, like that was shown in the example, but that is how you populate those certificates. It's super easy. As long as you've got that attended button there, you just click that and you'll have that certificate pop up for you. Same for registration managers. Again, you'll click your registration manager portal. You'll see a list view of all of the users attached to the company that you are a registration manager for. You'll click that person's name, and then you'll get a similar screen like this for them. So again, you'll see what they were signed up for. And these are all online modules that I've taken, but you'll see that whether they attended or no-show. And again, that no-show is going to show up if they've not been marked attended. So just a reminder, it does take us a little bit sometimes, so don't panic if they're listed as a no-show. That just means we probably haven't gotten the sign-in sheet just yet, or haven't had time to go in and mark them as attending. If it has been a bit, just let us know and we'll check into that. So we will go back to RTAP classes. Real quick though, I will pause. Does anyone have questions about certificates and accessing those that you would like me to look into while we're here?
There's a question in the chat from Candace. Are the certificates printable?
Yes. So it'll populate like this. You can come over here and just click print. So you can save this as a PDF, or you could choose to go ahead and just print that, and that'll print. Are there any other questions? Okay, so we will move on to what it looks like to register for a course. So again, from this view, you can go in and click on the specific course that you want, and below is where you'll populate. You'll see all the sessions have populated. So there are a couple different ways to search for classes. If you have any questions about searching for classes, go ahead and let me know, and I'm happy to go through that with you all while we're here. But so from this screen, you'll click view session. So again, you'll see that this is January 25th, 2023, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's in Hayesville at 160 East Carla Ave. You'll see a description and see that Ann Louder is our instructor for this class. You'll come down here and see that there is a fee of $45 to register. We're going to click that registration button. So here is your My Cart view. So you'll see that the course is populated. It's defensive driving emergency procedures. The date is January 25th, again, 9 to 3, and it's in Hayesville at 160 East Carla Ave. So the status is open. You can remove that if you wanted to do, say Ann had, a January 25th and 26th, you accidentally chose the 25th, just go ahead and remove that and go back in and choose that register button for the 26th. But this is just letting you know what you're registering for. Here is where some people get tripped up. So you can choose myself only. So if I was only choosing myself to register for this class, I'd select that. You can also register yourself and then others. So here you'll enter, one other person, 2, 3, whatever it is, or you can choose to only register other people. So a lot of times those registration managers will choose this option if they're registering folks. So say they have 3 drivers that they're needing to register, you'll click proceed. And here you'll see no registrants currently listed in my cart. It's because we haven't come down here to search those registrants. So you can search for registrants, and these will be folks that are attached to your company. So right now for KUTC, Nelda Buckley is the only other one who's attached to my account or to my agency. So I can choose that and add Nelda to register her for this class. Now you're like, okay, well, we've registered Nelda, but I have to add 2 more people. From this screen, you can choose to add people to your agency. You'll need to submit their email address. We do have to have an email, which I know has been really frustrating for some folks. The reason that we do that is just so that folks can access their database, their history. If they ever leave your agency, if they ever need to get back in and get a certificate for any reason, they'll be able to do that with an email address. So if you don't have an email address for your person, we do strongly recommend doing that. If you don't, you can always reach out to me and I can go ahead and add them to your agency. But this is how you go in and do that yourself. And you can choose, no, we don't want emails from KUTC. we'll really only send you our RTAP updates, but here's where you would enter their first name, last name. They're going to already be attached to your agency here. You can enter all their information and then proceed. Or you can return to cart. So that's how that works. If you want to remove a registrant, say you're like, oh, I actually only need to add Nelda, just click remove, and then Nelda will be the only one on there. Let's go back to my cart. So I'm going to choose to only register myself. Sorry, Nelda. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed. I'm going to remove Nelda here. So now I'm only registering myself. So I'm choosing the public fee. That's the only option there. I'm going to go ahead and proceed. And here is my payment summary. So I can choose to pay via credit card, and I would enter my information here and I'd complete enrollment. And down here, it's going to ask me to pay with PayPal or pay via credit card. So here's where you'd enter your credit card information and pay now, and you would complete your registration. Say you get to this page and you're like, oh, shucks, I meant to pay via invoice. Let's go back to my cart. And I'm still only registering myself. I'm going to proceed. And so I didn't want to pay via credit card, so I'm going to choose invoice check. So again, preferred mailing address. I'm going to complete that enrollment with the invoice check option listed. And my registration is complete. So it's now available through my registration portal. I can click here and see that I've been signed up for that. So here's that. My attendance is marked as a no-show because it hasn't happened yet. I've not had a chance to be marked as attending yet. So again, I know that no-show seems like really harsh at first, but it's just kind of the status that's marked when you haven't been marked as attending yet. So don't pay too much attention to it, but do let us know if it's still showing as a no-show and it's been a couple weeks since your class. But yeah, so that is how you register. And then my job is to go in on the back end into this system and take a look at your registration and get you approved and all set. But yeah, that is pretty much the learning management system in a short little preview. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Hey, Megan, this is Ann. I have a comment.
Yeah.
Just to let everyone know, go ahead and mail your checks to Megan and not bring them to the class because I'm not working from the office. So that means I turn around and have to mail the checks in. So just go ahead and mail them in and not bring them to class.
Yes, thank you, Ann. Good point. Yeah, we do prefer that you send those to us at the KU Transportation Center, which I believe we've got our address right down here. So it's 1536 West 15th Street, Suite G 520, Lawrence, Kansas. So you can just mail your checks to us there and just make that out to University of Kansas Transportation Center. But yeah, so just know that before you get to that complete registration page, there is an option to pay via credit card, or there is an option to choose that invoice check option. Any other questions? All right. Well, I will stop sharing my screen, but I will go ahead and put my email in the chat. So just don't ever hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to help with any learning management system issues because I know it is not the most user-friendly system in the world, but we're happy to help however we can.
Thank you, Megan. Okay, if there are no questions for Megan, we'll move on. And Lisa has prepared a video for us to learn more about the National RTAP resources available. So I'm going to share my screen and then we can watch that video. Okay, can everyone see the video?
We can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. then I will start and we can go ahead.
Peyton, I think you might have to unmute yourself for us to hear it.
Oh, okay. So if I'm, okay, let me start it back over then. Sorry.
Okay, we still can't hear anything, Peter.
You can't hear it?
No.
Interesting.
I think so. What you have to do is while sharing the screen, there will be an option of checking a box where you want to say share the system sound. Okay, can you unshare your screen?
Yeah. Okay.
And you should see an option on your left bottom, like share sound.
Okay, I see it actually. I'm sorry. Okay, let's try it one more time. Sorry about that, guys.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person to show you the National RTAP website, but I'm excited to make this video that you can go back to or share with your colleagues to give a little bit of information on what's available at the National RTAP website. There are so many resources here, and sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. So I'm going to do a bit of an exhaustive overview of the different components of the site, so that if you see something you like, you can go and check it out later. So just to start, you will see that the website is www.nationalrtap.org. And with that, you will get to this landing page, which has a really great visual appeal. It's a really nice website. I'm going to go through each of these headers in just a moment, but first I'm just going to scan through the landing page. So this is a great place. If you know exactly what you want, you can click on training, resource center, or peer networking. You can click on some of their featured resources, which are usually their most recently developed resources. A specific resource of the month. This month, it's the transit website checklist, which will give you information on specific components that you should consider including in your website. And this is one of those pieces of information that is a hard copy, and you can just download it for free. Also is just a digest of upcoming events that National RTAP is putting on their calendar. So you'll see today, which is Wednesday, November 16th, there's a lot of great events that are happening. There are some webinars and other pieces of material that are really going to be helpful to you. And then at the bottom, you'll see their social media so that you can follow them on social media. Also has their email and their phone number if you choose to contact them by that. So I'm going to scan back up to the top and start in the resources tab. This is where we're going to spend the most time during this overview because this is where most of the stuff is. So you'll see there are 4 subheadings: information, training, toolkits, and technology tools. I'm going to start with information. So in the information resource tab, you're going to find a connection to the resource library. And this is a really great way to start. So in the resource library, you can put any keyword that is interesting to you. So let's put ADA and click search. There, you're going to find a lot of content, 95 items about ADA, and that can be still a little overwhelming. So then you can filter it by topic. You can filter it by format. So if you're looking for a training module on ADA. You can click right on that, and then it will take it down to 2 items. So they have ADA and sensitivity in both English and Spanish. So that's a great thing for you to take a look at. If you wanted to have an article, there is an article on how transit agencies implement best practices in complementary ADA paratransit, which would be a great thing for you to read. You can download these. So this is an excellent resource, and you can do this for any topic that you have an interest in. Topic guides are very similar to the resource library, but it's a collection of resources from the resource library into specific topical items that get a lot of requests. So you'll see they have ADA here, and under that, you're going to see all the FTA circulars and guidance. This is a great place to go because they're going to be able to digest it for you and make sure you have the most up-to-date. They have the National RTAP resources. So that's where you're going to get toolkits, videos, documents, and then additional resources from other reputable folks, including Kansas RTAP's How to Secure a Wheelchair, the Essential Steps, but a lot of other information. And so this is a great way to, if you have a specific question about a topic like alternative fuels or bloodborne pathogens, you can go on this site and get a digest of all of the things that they have related to that. Next up is technical briefs. Technical briefs are intended to be pretty concise. They're usually around 8 pages of training documents that are focused around issues that are technical in nature. So there's a lot of them on here, and this is a great place to look if you have questions about something specific. So one I looked at right away that might be interested to folks in rural Kansas is the Head Start program, transportation in rural areas. You can look at effective policies and procedures, leading the rural transit agency, the transit website checklist that I talked about earlier. And just like the transit website checklist, when you click on it, it will ask you to download. And when you download, I'm not going to do the whole download, but you can put "I'm not a robot," and then you have to do the CAPTCHA. So now they want me to look at the motorcycles. Okay, I'll just do this quickly. And then it will allow you to download the content. Next is the best practices spotlight. And they have both a front page to that and cataloging of best practices by certain areas. And something that I noticed specifically on the best practices website this month is that Coffee County Transportation is listed on the landing page for best practices for this month. So this is really excellent. This is really talking about coordinating with a local nursing home. And so you're going to see these kind of things for tons of transit agencies. And it's a great way to see what your colleagues and peers are doing across the country. So COVID-19 resources are still cataloged on the National RTAP website. You're going to have a link to the COVID-19 FTA website, and then the specific National RTAP resources that can help you if you have specific COVID-19 questions. And then finally, it has a link to the Transportation Technical Assistance Coordination Library, which is a shared library amongst many technical assistance centers. So this is a great place to get information, and it provides that link to the Transportation Technical Assistance Library. So next I'm going to go to training. National RTAP does an excellent job of training, both training they provide and resources to trainings that are available. So the 2-point training are driver training cards that are available in English and Spanish. So these are great things you can download and provide for your drivers. They have webinars very regularly. They have their peer roundtables and chats, the directory of trainers. So I'll click on that really quick. So if you're interested in a trainer, you can search a topic. And so I'll try Americans with Disabilities Act and FTA Region 7. And you see a listing of folks that operate in this area that can provide you with training. So I'm going to click back. One of the other great things that National RTAP does is it has an e-learning portal. And this is where they have trainings that are intended to be done individually at their computer on many topics. So one that I always try to profile, because it was written by Kansas RTAP in coordination with National RTAP, is their e-learning for dispatching and scheduling. So this is something where you can sit a new dispatcher and scheduler in front of the computer, and they can do this training, and it provides them with a certificate of completion. You can also train it in person. It has instructor materials. There are quick reference sheets that you can post up on your wall with some tips and tricks. And then you have that e-learning and the document itself. So this is a great resource, and it's just one of many. So back up to resources, we talked a little bit about toolkits, but National RTAP has a lot of great like inclusive toolkits. The one that I like the best is the marketing toolkit. So on this page, you're going to see a compendium of information. First, you're going to see a bunch of different workshops and webinars that you can watch, or you can download the presentation to get the information. They have a how-to guide, which includes information on developing a marketing plan and marketing strategies. It has a lot of great templates, which is great for us in small agencies, because it allows them to do a lot of that design work. It has a photo library and a graphics library. These are all, you are allowed to use all of these things. So I definitely encourage you taking a look at the marketing toolkit, as well as the other toolkits that are available from National RTAP. And then finally, technology tools. So something that National RTAP has been doing a lot more over the last couple of years is creating technology that can be plug and played into your agency. So one is the development of the general transit feed specification format for your agency. The one I like the most is the website builder. And the website builder has been used successfully by agencies in Kansas that have limited technical support related to web development, with a lot of success. And so it provides you with with templates, a drag and drop program, mobile editing, 55 plus languages, and search engine optimization. So just to give you a sense, when you start, you'll go to the website builder, and clearly I need a plugin for it. But what it does is it provides you with different templates that you can use. And it also allows for some trip planner development if you do have GTFS. So next step is their news and events feed. So the news just provides kind of current content that they're providing, excuse me. So they've just launched an RFP for tribal transit pages for the Transit Managers Toolkit. They have new board members. So these are things that are very timely pieces of information. Another resource that I really like is their calendar. So I showed you the calendar that was on the landing page. This calendar even has more information. So here you go. It allows you to link and click to, if you're interested in indoor air management of airborne pathogens, you can click on that. You can log in and you can sign up for that course. But I just recommend take a look at this every once in a while and see if there are webinars or other events that may be of interest to you. I'm going to move on to the tribal transit program. We don't have a lot of tribal transit in the state of Kansas, but there are some great practices here if you want to coordinate with tribal agencies or coordinate with our tribal transit agency in the state of Kansas. So you're going to find a lot of information about topics specifically related to tribal transit, a peer forum, and their awards program. They also have a great site related to just the state RTAP programs, because we work in coordination with National RTAP. So this is where you're going to find things that we use at the state of Kansas RTAP program website. So it links you to the state websites and to the directory of RTAP managers. We have national peer roundtables, and there's also a manager's toolkit. And then finally, there is an about section that tells you a little bit more about the organization. So this is just a listing of their staff, for example. We mostly use Kara Marcus as our coordination point. So if you send me a question and I can't answer it, or if I think there might be more information that could be provided, I'll probably CC you on an email to Kara Marcus, and she's really great about providing information that will augment the state RTAP's information. They have a review board, and they have an FAQ site. So if you're interested in participating on their review board, they have information about how you do that and who's currently on the board. So here are some of their board members now. These are also just great people who are resources throughout the country. We've had them, Angie Jones and Laura Croft, participate in some of our webinars. So they do a great, these are folks who have a lot of information and resources for you. So with that, I'm going to link back up to the landing page and remind you it's at nationalrtap.org, and encourage you to take a second and look at the site, get familiarized with it. You can also chat with them online, send them an email, or call them directly if you have any information. And with that, I will turn it back over to the webinar in progress.
Okay, so that was Lisa with the National RTAP resources that are available to you all. That was our presentation. Thank you to Megan and Anne and Lisa. Does anyone have any questions pertaining to any of the topics we've covered? Anne and Megan are here and they can help you out, but we can do our best to help with questions regarding the presentation Lisa just gave too. Okay, if there are no questions, then I just want to let everyone know that we are recording this webinar and it will be posted to our YouTube channel. So you can take a look at that later if you just need to revisit any of the topics we discussed today. And then if you look at the YouTube channel, we have past webinars that you can check out there too. But thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. And please reach out if you do end up having any questions or just with anything. Thank you.